Okay. More or less confident in Golden State after this win?
I will say this. Vibes meter?
Yeah. High.
Very high.
Yeah.
Very
For those
high.
two.
About 3.
Yeah. Well, Jonathan Kuminga's not integral enough a part of the team to ruin the vibes. And I think he looks like he's being a good soldier just from afar watching him on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to be honest. I still have them beating the Rockets.
But you're not more confident.
But a little less.
Thank you,
A
Drew.
smidge, a scooch.
Appreciate the
less
integrity,
confident. I
Drew.
got to keep it
Yeah.
real. I'm obviously not throwing them overboard, but yeah, a little less. And to use your analogy you made famous with Josh Allen, they are a roller coaster. They really are. I mean,
Within the game.
it was in the game. I mean, first you beat the Lakers, you beat the Nuggets, you beat the Grizzlies 3 straight times within the last month, and then you lose a needed win against San Antonio at home.
Yep.
So they have been a roller coaster, and like you said, within that game last night, you're up 20 in the second half, looking great. Now, I get it. I think we all expect a run from the opponent. When they got to 12, I was thinking, okay, that was kind of their run. 7, okay, stem it off. But they took the lead with 8 minutes left in the game, and that just can't happen. So, one, their low is very low. Their high is very high. So who are we going to get? That's kind of a mystery with the Warriors. The biggest problem, though, or another big problem, Nick, they're too small.
Yes.
They're too small. And, you know, I've been beating this drum for a while. People act like when they were winning those championships, I get it in 22, they were kind of small. Looney was playing more, though. But when they had Durant and before Durant, they always had an Andrew Bogut, a Zaza Pachulia, a Festus Ezeli, somebody you could just throw in there to have some size.
Yes.
They have none of that, and they are a good rebounding team. But the last few games, they've been getting crushed on the glass. Zach Edey, he looked like an all-star last night. Like Zach,
at times.
No, but
At points.
he was like dominant. Like he was a major factor.
As long as he didn't have to hold on to the ball too long.
How can they do it with Edey?
Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't. I mean, if he
gotta
had
keep
any
the
type
ball
of,
up.
yeah,
Zach,
if he had
keep it
any
up.
type
Keep it
of
above your
stuff,
head,
like
Zach. Yeah.
a package down
Yeah.
low on the block, he could be doing damage.
Yeah.
So work on that, Edey, in over the summer. But his size was a problem for them. We talked about the Lakers. Lakers like to play small. If they get to the Lakers, maybe that'll be better for them. That's going to be the challenge against Houston. Houston's the best rebounding team in the league, best offensive rebounding team in the league.
How about his footwork?
No, Şengün's got a bag. So I got him in 6 over the Rockets. But I'm a tad bit, a hair less.
So I appreciate and expected nothing less from you than honesty there, which is there is no way anyone could have watched that game and felt more confident about the Warriors. You could have felt relieved. You could have felt like, Jesus, we're about to be facing a win-or-go-home game, and then our reward is Oklahoma City, and thankfully we avoided that. But Memphis hasn't beaten a good team since January. Good Western Conference team. They did get 1 win against Detroit since January, but that's it. Right, who's not a contender, but they have, and you got an amazing Jimmy game with some amazing assists by the officials early in the game on Jimmy's behalf. Ja got hurt during the midst of
they made the run with Ja on the bench.
Right, but it was also part of the run, cutting it from 20 to 12 and then getting it close, which was with Ja out there. I'm still waiting for Reggie's diagnosis. I think he turned his ankle. And
maybe
so
stepped on a foot, maybe
not. There's no way to tell. Maybe he was taking Advil. Who knows?
Get on the bike.
And you still barely escape. So I know we're going to do a full-on preview later, but I'm just ready to say right now, Wilds is going to end up being right about the Rockets winning around.
Thank goodness, because
yes, I think the Rockets are beating them. And here's what I took away from the Edey minutes. The Rockets are going to be able to play Steven Adams if they want to.
Yes.
And so, I would have thought the Warriors would play Edey off the court.
And they went at him, and they had some success against him. But you're right, they obviously didn't play him.
They didn't play him off the court. Edey getting in foul trouble hurt the Grizzlies. And so I also think, and I know we're going to talk Jimmy, and Jimmy was great, Even if we are getting full-fledged playoff Jimmy, 38's not going to be a regular occurrence. So you had a great Jimmy game. It was kind of perfect timing with the Steph conversation from the other day when we were saying he's not that good historically at game-tying or game-winning shots. But God love him, he's the best I've ever seen at the dagger, just rip-your-heart-out shots. He hit a few of those in that game. You got all of that. I just don't think they have enough reliable players. I trust, obviously, Steph. You obviously trust Jimmy. And you kind of know what you're going to get from Draymond. And a lot of it's good, some of it's not, but you know what you're going to get from him. But these other, like, who else, coming off their bench, they have two guys who can shoot. Neither one of them you want in your playoff rotation. A second-round rookie in Quentin Post and Buddy Hield.
He was big for
and he was good. I understand. I just don't think
First half.
And Hield, who couldn't get in the Sixers playoff rotation last year. Everyone else off your bench can't shoot. One of the reasons I kind of threw out the Pod's performance against the Lakers, which made you mad, was I don't think he's going to be as bad as he was last night, but he's not going to be a guy that goes 6 of 10 from 3. I don't like how this team has looked during the last couple weeks, and they look like, to me, Brew, you know how a lot of times if you see a team that's down 30 and then makes a comeback to get to within 5 but can't get over the hump? To me, the post-Jimmy part of their season was like a season-long version of that, where you're 25 and 25 and you spend all this energy to get, you know what I mean, climb out of that hole to maybe get into the 4-5 line. And right before you get there, you run out of gas. And that's what we're seeing playing out over the last few games.
All right. You know, what they're going to have to do, you mentioned all the role players. It's gonna be different ones every night or every other game, something like that. Like, it might be Moody, it might be Podziemski, it might be Gary Payton II. Like, it's gonna have to be a different guy or two every, game for them.
Kevin Durant, not a tarantula.
I was thinking that one too.
Jimmy Butler, last 6 seasons, regular season, 346 games, only 2 games scoring 38 or more. Playoff/play-in, 68 games. He scored 38 or more 9 times. So, Brew, is he officially back / did he never leave?
Yeah, the playoff Jimmy is back. I mean, that's why they won last night. I mean, him and Steph, he is definitely back. This guy raises his playoff average 3 points, 18 in the regular season, 21 in the playoffs. Like Nick said, he's not going to average 38 points a game or even 30. But his play, I mean, last night he was fantastic. He wasn't perfect. He had the late turnover, bad pass, but he was great. He's playing power forward for him, drops 38. He can hit a 3, it feels like, when he needs to.
That's so weird.
Yeah, right. It's like,
I
but
guess
that's
he can hit
the
threes now. I'm like, shoot that, Jimmy.
When it's important, he seems to be able to hit them.
Yeah.
The last 4 games, which they've been kind of playing playoff games, he's averaging 30 points on 60% shooting. He's averaging 13 free throw attempts a game. That is huge for them when you have the shooting of Steph and hopefully for Warriors fans, Podziemski. To have a guy that can draw fouls the way Butler does and is efficient from the line is huge. And Nick, when he has good coaching and a good structure and a solid roster around him, that's when playoff Jimmy emerges. He didn't have like a ton of big playoff wins before he went to Miami. He had some moments here and there, but it was Miami when you got a great coach in Eric Spoelstra, you got good players around. You're not great, but good. And he beat Giannis and the rest. We all know this story in Miami. So now you obviously have a great team around, or players around you, some of them, and then great coaching with Kerr. He is Robin. He's the second guy, which he's happy, obviously, to be. So, yeah, playoff Jimmy is here, and I do think that makes them dangerous.
And, listen, I thought, you guys know I try to keep it as a rule of my television persona to not blame officials for things. And I think last night's a good reason why, is because if you wanted to blame the refs, either team you were rooting for, you had an amazing case. You know what I mean? It felt like the first 45 minutes of that game, the Warriors got every call. Then at the end, the Grizzlies got some phantom calls. And then the final, at the very end, the 5-second call, which felt like quick trigger. But the biggest beneficiary of the calls early was Jimmy, but then it became Jimmy on behalf of Steph. And so this is the point I'm trying to make. Jimmy's ability to draw fouls for this Warriors team is so dangerous because then all of a sudden you're just running around the screen chasing Steph Curry, bump into him, and that's a free 2 points because it's the greatest free throw shooter in league history. You know what I mean? So Jimmy's 18 free throw attempts really, even though he actually didn't shoot that well from the line on those 18 attempts, they generate extra free points because you're in the bonus if you're the Warriors, and Steph's walking to the line smiling like a maniac, chewing his mouthpiece like, these are going to be the easiest free throws of my life. So you guys, I had said throughout the year, I'm curious what the playoff Jimmy jump is going to be because his regular season was at such a depressed level this year compared to the last couple of years. I think the evidence is he can still get to peak playoff Jimmy level. I also think that was a really good graphic that you showed at the beginning, that basically one in every 175 games in the regular season, he goes for 38, and then one in every 8 games in the postseason. It is incredible. It also is a reminder that you likely go the entire Rockets series without that again. Forget that every night. Without that, if he averages it 1 in every 8 games, you maybe get one more.
You're not getting that against the Rockets.
Right. Well, that's the thing is, and I think the Rockets can defend without fouling.
They're not shutting him down.
No, but 38. 28 would be great.
He can get 30. Against the Rockets.
But what do you think the over-under will be?
Boston,
22?
Milwaukee, those were great defensive teams when he was in Miami.
Yeah, but so my guess, the point I'm trying to make is I would, like if we had to set his average for the series, I'd probably set it at 24.
If that. I mean, but I just think he can have big nights. The thing, too, with Butler, the league, and this is not a criticism, it's a finesse league now. And the Warriors have been a finesse team. They kind of help usher in the finesse era. Jimmy's like a throwback. Jimmy is tough. And there aren't a ton of tough guys in the league anymore. He is a tough guy, and so is Draymond. I don't mean just fighting, but just their mentality. They get it done with ruggedness. The Rockets have that guy in Dillon, but guess what? Jimmy's tougher than Dillon Brooks, in my view. I agree. So I think he obviously can nullify Dillon and even then some. So.
And one other thing, and this is going to be like Wilds' hey, defenders, cover Travis Kelce take, where I understand if it was this easy, someone else would have done it. Hey, defenders on the Houston Rockets, Jimmy Butler is going to pump fake. He is not going up. He is not going up on the first attempt. He is going to pump fake at least once, maybe twice. He wants you to jump. Just don't jump, and he'll be shot.
They're young. They'll be jumping.
Jimmy Butler, courtesy of Hubs, 16 points in 2 games against the Rockets. Not 8-8, 16-16. Meanwhile, in Orlando, the Magic are moving on. Trae Young moving out, ejected from the game for taunting the refs not once but twice. Now, Hawks were down 20, and Trae did get pushed a little under the rim after a made basket shortly before this. I like that move.
You don't.
But it's not exactly why he was frustrated. It's more of a team effort, team frustration. That's right. That's why he got thrown out. That's why.
Teamwork.
Good, your reaction, bro.
I mean, I don't believe the thing about the Dyson Daniels situation. I think Trae was frustrated because Orlando's physical. They're a great defensive team, and they were bumping him, getting physical with him, and I think he was frustrated at that and at the fact that they were getting blasted. Now, I will say, I don't know how hard he threw the ball to the ref after he nutmegged Wendell.
That was something, though.
It was, I mean, if you look at the, I don't know if we can see the video, but it was just.
It wasn't violent, but it was. To me, it was.
I mean.
It was.
Like he just threw it back to him.
From the below angle, but this was the one.
Now this was bad.
So again, he was basically teasing the referee like you do a small child. Or I shouldn't say small child, like a little brother or a little sister. Like, oh, you can get the ball, no, you're not. And we're going to need to dip into at some point the FS1 prop budget. I'm going to need like some bifocals and like an old-timey pipe for when I get in this new character that I have become in real life, which is an old man.
Yeah,
can these young guys please just grow up? Like, can we please? This is
Are you
year
mad at the 3-point
7.
shooting? Or
no,
what? Oh.
I'm talking
Is this
about
his 7th year?
Same draft as
It
Luka.
doesn't feel like so.
Yeah, I know, but it's same draft as Luka. It's year 7 for these guys. Can you please grow up? Can you please just? I'm begging of you to act with a little more consistent professionalism and to not, in a playoff, play-in, whatever, high-stakes game, not only get thrown out, but get thrown out for utter foolishness. And so it just feels like it should be beneath Trae Young at this point in his career. And it also feels like there is this triumvirate of incredibly talented, silly point guards on underachieving teams in kind of the southeastern corridor of our nation, in Memphis, Atlanta, and Charlotte, where it's like you can't deny the talent. They're all super high draft picks. They all, the upside wows you. They're unique in what they can do, and they're all just silly. In different ways.
Yeah, it is.
It's very different types of silliness.
Ja is silly, but borderline dangerous. Melo is just flighty,
yes.
right? And Trae, I think, gets frustrated.
Yeah,
like,
and
quickly.
so, but they all, you just feel like it's just an untapped potential.
Yes.
That is one of the reasons it is untapped is a lack of overall maturity.
Yeah,
and so the reason I said I feel like an old man is I'm not acting like this is the biggest deal in the world, but to me it is another piece of evidence that you're not yet like a full-grown, acting like a full-grown adult on the basketball court, which as the best player and leader of your team, they need you to. And I think that's fair to ask for all these guys who are max players, faces of their franchise.
It's kind of like with quarterbacks. Like if you're the best player, particularly if you're a point guard, but if you're just the best player, face of the franchise, they're building around you, you do have to be a little more mature.
Yes.
Like we want your quarterback to be, mature, and you're the leader of the team, the leader of men. So yeah, I mean, like you said, I'm not losing any sleep over this. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it does speak to why are you like toying around with the referee? You're getting blasted. I'd like you to just be upset, not playing games with the referee. It's not his fault. Y'all got crushed.
Lost by 25. Well, you let the Orlando Magic score 120.
Right,
that's like 175 to most teams.
That's exactly
That's
right.
a lot.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.